10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
And welcome to SEGA Live. Hello, I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, and over there, Mr. Dujanay Bland. Down below, the voice of the Southeast Gassers Association, Mr. David Lancaster. You will hear him this weekend because it is race weekend at Jackson Dragway, a brand new venue for the Southeast Gassers Association. David, going to a new venue this year. There was also supposed to be another one in Holiday Raceway, but we weren't able to make that one due to weather 2 weekends in a row. Hopefully we'll give Holiday another shot in 2026. That to come later on. Nonetheless, SEGA going to a new venue. What has that been like in the past? I haven't been with SEGA to a brand new venue. SEGA's been to a lot of places. What is it like, man?
I tell you, what it's like for the drivers, they're excited because everybody's pretty much on a level playing field. Nobody's been to Jackson that I know of that has any real experience there. The drivers are also anticipating what kind of crowd are we going to have? Who are we going to see there? They want to see the big crowd there because they get amped up to race in front of a crowd. So it brings forth a lot of new what ifs and unknowns, and it's going to make for some great drag racing. And with the points the way they are, it's just another reason that Southeast Gasser Racing is as tight as it is and as fun as it is.
Yeah, it's gonna make it interesting for everybody, right? You know, everybody's learning it, including the streaming crew. So everybody's gonna be figuring this thing out as we get there. But it's always fun to go to a new venue, and like we talked about last week, there's no data for this one, so everybody's coming in fresh, trying to learn this track, and it'll be important to get a hold of the thing quickly if you want to have success on Saturday.
You're absolutely correct, Dujanay. Yes, certainly the competitors do not have a notebook, but the streaming crew doesn't have a notebook either. I can tell you from last week, having the Funny Car Chaos stream at Byron, Illinois. I'd been to Byron before a couple of times, but I had never been there in the capacity of conducting a stream, and did a little test, and wow, okay, great. I can pick up audio from the camera. So what you should be able to expect this weekend with the live stream from Jackson Dragway, yes, there will be a live stream. We intend to live stream all of the remaining Southeast Gasser Association drag races, is that, you'll have down track audio. Did not really have it back at Brainerd. And that is just, working out this, working out that. I can pull audio now from the cameras. That was a success at Byron, except that their PA was so good that it created an echo, and it created me doing DJ mixing throughout an entire live stream to try to knock out an echo and allow David Ratton, the voice of Chaos, to be heard without an echo. So solved one problem and created another. But I am excited that you should, as long as all goes well this weekend with the Southeast Gassers Association live stream, you will hear the gassers roaring through the lights. And I love these cars because they sound, obviously like gassers, but you may very well be reminded of like modified production or pro stock back in the day, the way in which they roar, shifting and running through the lights. It's a spectacular sound.
Yeah, these cars are not like no other. You can go to any, local track in any event where you got Novas and things out there like that. But the gasser sound is nothing like it. And it's really fun to watch, along with just listening to these cars and how they roar through the finish line. Yeah, it's nothing like it, man.
I already got some fans online in the chat. They're excited to see us come too. And going back to your initial question, Lee, a lot of butterflies will be going on until the track gets warm and we get a few passes on it Friday night, so people can start to really gauge, what the tire setup's going to be like, what their air pressure they need to leave at, if this lane has a different characteristic than the other lane, because that is going to be at a premium. Somebody like Brian Harris or a Joey Reed, Quayne Stott, that can read a racetrack, know how to set up a race car, could really be the difference in their driver's performance this weekend, especially at this green to us new track, new venue that we're going to be going to. So that is something else that they're going to have some butterflies in their stomach, especially the first time they drop the clutch on the car.
I agree. And I think Friday night, it is going to be a premium to hit that track and get an idea of what Jackson Dragway has to offer as a racing surface, as a place to, put that rubber patch of contact to the ground and see what your machine is going to be able to do. So we'll be live streaming Friday night as long as all goes well. And it may very well be, even though it's test and tune, worth tuning in to catch that action of see who hits the track and who performs well and what carnage there might be. I mean, go back to last race there at Brainerd Motorsports Park. My goodness, Rob Walden, though he comes away with the win the next day, they had to thrash. He seemed like he broke everything beyond the transmission back of that car.
Yeah. That is really I guess that will be the equalizer. If you think about it, it's going to be very important to keep it clean and not have any big mishaps, because you really do want to establish some level of consistency going into race day, afternoon. So it's going to be extra important that, obviously things happen and you kind of, have to expect it, but you really want to, whatever you're working with early, you want to be able to take that into eliminations, because any change could really set you back as a whole in trying to really grasp the racetrack.
And that's a great point that you make there. What do these guys do this week in the shop? Where do you set your car up to come off the trailer with to make that first hit? Do you set it at a neutral type situation where that it did well at Brainerd or at a shady side? What characteristics are you looking for if you are the racer and are setting your car up? What's that first combination that you want to come off the trailer with? Because as Barry Adler said to us last week, you don't want to go in there and make 5 different changes because you don't know if that's the one that really helped you or not. Right. So that's going to be of utmost importance Friday night.
Definitely.
It will be. It's going to be a serious test and tune. Some might show up to shady side and they know what to look for. They have an expectation. They might show up to Knoxville, which is our race after this one in the state of Tennessee. But there are certainly no expectations showing up to Jackson this weekend. And it's going to be warm. It's going to be toasty. That track is going to be hot. And I imagine some of those that are going to hit the track in test and tune trim wish that test and tune was earlier and not just beginning at 5 p.m. Central Time. Will be in Central Time. They wish it was much sooner because when we start qualifying, that track is going to be different, I imagine, from 5 p.m. and much hotter and probably slicker. And we might very well see some of the, slowest pace out of these gassers this weekend coming, not because they're slow old cars. No, that's certainly not the case, but just because of the track conditions. And that's going to create scenarios going into race day where I think qualifying may look different and the ladders therefore may look different and the wind lights may look a whole lot different from what we expect there at Jackson Dragway. So I think this ticket though it's going to be warm, though it's going to be toasty. Hey, we are not facing any rain, apparently. Praise the Lord. You need to get this ticket. You very well might see some firsts in SEGA action beyond just the firsts that win at Jackson Dragway.
Yeah. And you know, several of our fans who, you know, we weren't able to have that event at Killcare as well, so, you know, invite those fans and try to get them out to come down to you know, Memphis, Tennessee, to Jackson, Tennessee, and see this event. Hopefully they can make the trip as well. And like I said, those drivers really love putting on a show and racing in front of some of the best fans that I think in the country.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Lee. You basically have a hero session and test and tune. So, you know, how do you go about it? Do you go about and see, and you really get all of it? You try to get all of it in that cool session, or do you try to set it up in a way that, you know, maybe you're not hitting the big number, but you're getting it down the racetrack, and it's something that you feel that might work at that time of day when qualifying will happen. So it really is. It throws them at a really huge curveball, because that is a drastically different times. Now, sure, 5 o'clock Central, there's still going to be some heat on the racetrack, especially if it's plenty of sun, but it ain't going to be the same amount of heat that's on the racetrack when you're at 1 o'clock. So it is really going to be imperative for these tuners and drivers to make sure that they come in and don't overshoot too early in qualifying, because it really could leave you behind the 8 ball come eliminations. And you know, you talked about the ladders. You know, I was just looking, just simply starting with A-gas and the points there. And, you know, I'm not 100% sure of all who will be there, but, you know, you have Bad Alibi, you have Honky Tonk there. They're tied for 8th. They got 80 points. And when you really think about it, there's 4 races left. If we get this ladder upside down, let's say, you know, Leslie's at the bottom, you know, the 2 at the top are at the bottom. You know, we've talked about the top 5 and how good they've been and how close they are, but legitimately, if you can go to distance, you can really close the gap here and find yourself in the top 5. And all of those cars, Silver Street, Kenneth Phillips, the Little Red Wagon, 95 points, all of those cars are more than capable of going out there and getting a W. And what a time to get a W right here on a track that the big dogs don't have a book either. So it's going to be super important. How are you going to play your cards? Are you going to be aggressive, or are you going to play not necessarily safe, but you are going to look to go A to B on race day during qualifying in hopes that they get a little bit aggressive and slip up and give you an opportunity to get a W? Because, yeah, I mean, top 8 with the tie are more than capable of getting a W. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the points play out. There's a lot of close action in all these classes when you look at the points. It could really turn upside down here at this race.
It could do, Janae.
I think Friday night, some folks might load it up in the trailer early and think we're good. And then come qualifying 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time at Jackson Dragway, then they're going to scramble after that first hit. Whoever is able to strike that balance like you're talking about, I think they are going to have early round wins or qualify at least the best. So if you're underpowered a little bit, this might be your race.
I tell you though, guys, it's been my experience that in our racers, first round they're going to throw the whole kit and caboodle at it, just to be honest. And then if something doesn't go right, they're going to try to go A to B in the second round of qualifying. That's just been my experience of what I have talked to people and, you know, seen before. And if someone does take it a little bit easy, is that going to be something that's going to benefit them or not? It'll all depend on the way the track is prepped and the heat and all the conditions there, because as we said before, going A to B is going to be that is what this racing is all about when it comes to eliminations.
if I'm them, I let those who want to go out there and hammer it down in the first pass, let them do it. Because at the end of the day, if they get behind the 8 ball, you've set yourself up for an opportunity in eliminations to put them out on the trailer. They're likely high probability they might go out there and shake the tire. Because if you don't get down the first time, now you're trying to scramble to make sure you get down. So on the second pass, did you really get what you wanted, or was it really conservative? And I think if you play, it can be called playing safe, but on this brand new racing surface, I would go out there and set it up to where I'm not too high, I'm not too low. Let's just keep it medium, and we'll keep it medium. We'll go into qualifying, keeping it medium. And if we need to tweak it a little bit, then we can, because we know we're not on that line or over the line. And then hit eliminations and roll the dice and let's see what we can get done. Because I really do think if you can be the one that keeps it medium, those who like to get after it, and I understand everybody wants to put on a show, but those who like to get after it and get behind, it's going to be a huge problem this weekend. And I think you see them go out early.
We'll see who rises to the top with, some tough conditions that we are going to have. It's going to be toasty, but we are the Southeast gassers. We should be used to some toasty conditions and some humid conditions. It's going to be interesting with this first event, though, at Jackson Dragway. David, the name Don Baskin's Truck Sales, which is presenting the Hub City Hullabaloo, well, that's a name that is no stranger to Southeast Gas Association drag racing, from what I understand. So give us the lowdown on Don Baskin's, his involvement with SEGA, as we prepare to get a word from, the truck sales, and then dive in a little bit more on Jackson Dragway itself.
Well, Don Baskins, he raced with us probably about a year and a half. And I'd say that was 3, maybe 4 years ago under the prior ownership. And, he came in, had multiple cars, a gas car, had some other drivers, and was one of the first ones in H gas. Went out there and made some passes in a little car. I can't remember the actual make of the car. I'd have to pull my notes back up. But, put cars in multiple categories, went some rounds, no wins in any of those. But then, for whatever reason, I don't remember the reason. Maybe it was, business related. He had to, back away from a time commitment. I hadn't seen him in a few years, but he's always been prevalent in drag racing, as we know, and helping other people. So now he's making a little plunge back here with the Southeast Gassers and invited us to his facility. So we're awfully glad to be going.
It is going to be a good time in Jackson, Tennessee. We're going to take a break, a word from Don Baskin's Truck Sales, and dive in a bit more on the drag strip itself and get you all prepared for the Hub City Hullabaloo there at Jackson Dragway this weekend, August 22nd and August 23rd.
Don Baskin Truck Sales has any kind of truck and trailer you will ever need. We have the largest selection and variety of trucks and trailers in the country, with over 2,000 units in stock. Financing is available. Visit our dealership at 1870 Highway 51 South in Covington, Tennessee, or visit our website at baskintruckSales.com or call 1-800-331-7110. Don Baskin Truck Sales has the truck and or trailer to get the job done.
I was looking online earlier today, and they do have a great lineup. They have just about everything you can ask for concerning truck sales, from the mild to wild. So if you need it to get the job done, they certainly seem to have it there in Covington, Tennessee. if I remember correctly. We're looking at drag racing in Jackson, Tennessee. So for everyone that is out there, where is Jackson, Tennessee? Well, you see there to the east, Nashville. You see there to the west, that is Memphis. And in between, a bit closer to Memphis, you've got the city of Jackson, or the town of Jackson. And historically, it gets this hub city from its importance when a bunch of rail lines connected and knotted together and were at the hub right there in Jackson, Tennessee. And many of the establishments there in Jackson have continued that, and they're like Hub Brewery and Hub this and Hub that. And well, we're going to have the big Hullabaloo there in Hub City this weekend for the Southeast Gassers Association. So with this in mind, and you two feel free to chime in, I'm going to go through some other images here, but this race, and I don't have the map to show this exactly, but when you look at Jackson and then you look at Gulfport, Mississippi, Gulfport is just a bit more west than Jackson. These two races are the most westward races for the Southeast Gas Association. So if you're a fan like in Louisiana, Gulfport is your race. If you are a fan, Missouri, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, maybe even out of Illinois, this is the race for you. Get there on Friday and Saturday. This is as far west as we're going, other than Gulfport. So this is far west and north for 2025. It is your opportunity.
Yeah, also I saw some people, looks like Alabama could make, a lot of Alabama racers or people that like racing could make this, because it looks like you could go through Muscle Shoals, Alabama right there, and come on northwest and be able to run right into Jackson, as I was looking at that map that you put up there a while ago. So also with the with us not being able to run in Alabama this year, might be, the itch that some of these people need to get scratched. This would be a good one there, coming through Muscle Shoals and, up through Alabama, getting to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, for those in that region, it's a pretty centralized track. So, yeah, just jump in the car and make it happen. This is definitely something you don't want to miss at all, especially being that it's pretty much a one time a year that they come out this far. So get your fix in.
Yeah, looking at it, when you consider some of the areas around Jackson that you might consider decent-sized towns like Paducah, Kentucky, look, 2.5 hours, depending on how you take the route as Google Maps is showing south down to Jackson, Tennessee. And then I don't have the image right now, but it's a similar case from Tupelo, Mississippi, up to Jackson, Tennessee. Certainly, if you're in the Nashville area, it's not far. Certainly, Memphis, this is your race to catch. And, you look on down the road to Little Rock, Arkansas, and you're looking at roughly about 3 hours, if I remember correctly. So this, for the fans that are out west of the Southeast, this is your race. You definitely need to take the time, get down the road, and hit this event up at Jackson Dragway. Now, with many questions you may have, so ticketing, the availability of camping, those type of things, please direct most of those inquiries to the track, because they handle many of those type of things. So if you want to know more about the event and track side concerning what the track does handle, you can find Jackson Dragway on Facebook. It is Jackson Dragway LLC. When you have found that on Facebook, you have found the official Facebook page for Jackson Dragway. So check it out. Make sure to follow, make sure to like, and you'll see updates getting closer to this weekend. But as we've got the overhead here, I think it certainly is going to be a drag strip that fits very well into the Southeast Gassers Association motif, if you will.
Yeah, big parking area as well. Looks like most of it's paved, so that's going to make for some happy competitors. Looks like there's plenty of parking there and plenty of runoff at the end of the drag strip as well in case of any braking problems that might occur on any cars.
Yeah, we got enough runway, that's for sure. Looks like it's going to be really cool area. Surrounding area looks really cool and peaceful. So yeah, it should be a fun thing. And I saw Todd and Teresa talking about the surface and how smooth it is. Man, if you're talking about a really smooth surface and a really good surface for these racers, then you might be able to see you might be able to see some nice runs on a track that's well kept. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out in the heat. You know my saying, Lee. It's a thin line between love and hate when it's hot.
That it is. I think there's been more hate this year. It has either been wet or hot. I'm glad this weekend it does appear that we're only going to have hot, and that's fine. Yeah. I would much rather take that, get some racing in. I think I've been to 2 races this year that didn't have weather a part of them one way or the other. It has been such a fascinating weather year. It has struck hard against the Southeast Gassers Association as well. We have lost 2 races thus far this year due to weather. There at Holiday Raceway tried to race the very next weekend. Weather again struck. We were not able to make that one up, and then made a call concerning kill care with that distance in mind and the racer in mind that, hey, it doesn't look good. We're not going to go up there, and there just isn't a rescheduled date for that one either. So I know many fans are anticipating the 2026 schedule. We'll see that soon enough, but weather has been tough from the Southeast Gassers Association and beyond this year in the world of motorsports.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. Tough for everybody. And it doesn't seem to be one of those things that it's been letting up this year. So it seems like so far, though, we've been pretty clean. So it'd be nice if we could finish the year out that way. But, we'll cross fingers and toes and stuff and hopefully that'll stick.
Well, David, going to a new track, what is the last new track that sticks out in your mind? I know we had South Georgia Motorsports Park this year, and maybe that's it, but is there one of a particular event in the past that you recall that, hey, this was a brand new venue for SEGA and it just went swimmingly well?
Swimmingly well might be the hard part of that. US 134 or 143 Dragway out in Tennessee, in the same vicinity as Nashville. We went there, I think, for 2 years in a row. The first year was, good facility. It was a big learning curve for some of our drivers because of the weather changes. Also, weather plays a tremendous part with the carbureted motors and carbureted engines that we race here in the Southeast Gassers. So trying to get a handle on that, plus the handling of the track. And I thought it was awfully, on a novelty side, we had a large Amish population in that area who would not come to the racing facility, but I could see them from the tower standing along the tree line. And I did observe that with binoculars, and they were very enamored with the race engines and the things that they were watching out there, but they would not come past the tree line. So that was a different type situation. And you can't even compare South Georgia Motorsports Park to anything like that. This year at South Georgia Motorsports Park, it just first-rate facility there, and hardly any problems to say there.
Yeah, it's huge. it's huge. But yeah, Raul and the gang do a really good job over there of taking care of that facility. And yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
US 143 is in Etheridge, Tennessee. So that was the name of the town that we were in there for a couple of years there. And moderate success through the gates, but not really outstanding, following out there. So this one has a chance to really set the record straight with that. And with all that we've heard that Don Baskins has done to improve this facility, I'm really ready to put boots on the ground and see, what it's going to be like, what it's going to be like for our broadcast, what the PA is like, where we'll have angles for our people to see our live stream and to try to bring them some real life action as if they had made this 8-hour trip out there.
And you're absolutely correct. Don has put a big investment into Jackson Dragway, and there has been a lot of work. I'm looking at some photos right now on the Facebook page, and I'll rob one so we can get it on the show right here. But sweeping improvements to this drag strip, and Don is to some extent he's doing the Lord's work in drag racing and helping out some of these tracks like Jackson Dragway, and he recently purchased another one up the road in Western Tennessee. I'm coming to learn, wow, Tennessee's got a lot more drag strips than I realized from east to west there in the great state of Tennessee. But here's an image from the Facebook page, and you can see there's some nice aluminum, and you can see that you've got the track being worked on, and they've added walls, and they've done a whole lot of work to Jackson Dragway. And, when you look at the image here, and then you look at this image, well, I think we're seeing an older Google Earth image compared to what we're looking at right here in all of the additions and all the work that's been done. So we may very well be going to a Jackson that is in its life in a revival of operational status and mode. So definitely a great time for the Southeast Gassers to come in and play a part in bringing the big show.
Yeah, they're going to put on a show, that's for sure. And nothing like having some, nothing like a facility having some new shoes and some new digs, and most importantly, having an excellent racing surface. It is going to be, I think it's going to be something that really is going to shine. It's going to help these cars shine if what we're hearing is true. And we can see that, man. All the work that's being put in, it should be a fun time for the fans and for the racers. It's going to make for some great action.
And plenty of seating. It looks like everybody can be comfortable there. And, so hopefully when we, like I said, put boots on the ground, another great shot right there from the water box. So you see the tower there.
I see those trees are going to have a lot of people under them. I guarantee
you.
That's going to be the spot where people are trying to get to.
I'm trying to see the lighting on the track there, and hopefully I don't see much on the right side, but hopefully that's been rectified and we can give our drivers something safe to race on.
Looks like there is. It's just the tree. You're seeing trees and the poles are blending in.
That may be very well. Yeah.
Yeah, but you look through and the photos that are there, massive improvements, and thankful to Don Baskins and team for making such improvements and giving Western Tennessee a great place to race. It was already a good place, but I'm sure that they've made it that much better. And right here, you're looking back down the drag strip, and track prep is been underway, and that's a good looking racing surface. That's a good looking groove. Yeah. So I think our guys, though it may be hot, they've got something good to look forward to in the Southeast Gas Association here at Jackson Dragway.
Good wide groove as well. So, that also bodes well if anything goes awry, with a rear end or something.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. And they say that the dirt part is paved. So, man, that's a lot of real estate right there. To kind of have people, the pits will be nice for the competitors. I know they'll be excited about that being paved. And it's going to be good. That's pretty awesome, man. That's a really good looking surface for sure.
That it is. So we're going to a new facility. It's going to be a good facility for the Southeast Gases Association. Going to have a good drag race, and it's in an area where Jackson has just a little bit of everything. You don't feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. You've got like Walmart down the road and some other elements. So it's going to be in a good spot and a good place for the Southeast Gassers Association to be there. And if we're going to be there, you need to be there. If you have never seen a Southeast Gassers Association drag race and you are this far west, you need to come experience Southeast Gassers Association drag racing. It's my understanding that Jackson Dragway has got a good culture in the grudge scene. Look, drag racing is great no matter what form of drag racing it is, but you want to see some good drag racing action, I can highly attest to the action that is SEGA. You need to experience. So if you're there on grudge night, you want to get there on SEGA night as well.
Yeah, because you're going to get a chance to, like we were talking earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of passes on Friday night trying to get things ironed out for your car and things of that nature.
Yeah, like I said, hero session for the gassers. So I'm sure there will be some that will be looking to lay down some rubber and put up some numbers. So it's going to be a good time and a good show for the fans.
It will be. Well, we're going to switch gears and recognize the official 4-speed of the Southeast Gases Association, G-Force Racing Transmissions. As you can see, racing and performance for the strip and the street. They've got it all. Racing and street transmissions at gforcetransmissions.com. Ask for Roby Myrick at G4 South. He will be able to hook you up. After this break, a word from one of our lane sponsors, Larice Motorsports Insurance. And I've got to say, this past weekend, there were a lot of incidents in the drag racing world that were poster childs for having Larice Motorsports Insurance or just some type of insurance on your ride. But definitely go to the people who are in racing and support racing, and that is certainly Larice Motorsports Insurance. They cover your ride at the track and away from the track, rolling to and from the track, including your rig and more. If you are not insured, well, reach out to Larice Motorsports Insurance, one of our lane sponsors in the Southeast Gases Association. This word, and then we'll dive in quickly on points and beyond in SEGA.
Larice Motorsports Insurance offers drag racers the broadest insurance policies in the industry. Larice Motorsports Insurance was created by racers for racers. Larice insures race cars on and off the track, trailers and equipment. Larice even pays racers contingencies at the fling bracket races. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Larice Motorsports Insurance today.
All right, gentlemen, let's do this rapid fire. We're going to bring up the points one after another and give me what you're most or who you're most surprised about in the points, whether positive or negative. Just go with one. Most surprised, bring up that first category, whatever it is. I don't know what it's going to be. It is a gas. I'll give mine thus far. I think for me, the most surprise is Ben Christopher. I thought he would be number one. I know number 3 is great, but I was expecting him to be number 1, and we're still looking for Ben Christopher to get that first win of 2025 with line power in between the shock towers. And, well, him finally turn on that last win light. We're all expecting it. We're all wanting it. And I really thought he'd be number one.
I'm going to go with the Joker. No wins, which is surprising. Car's been, running pretty well considering. Kind of caught the wrong side of the coin there. Linden had to lend a motor to Leslie, got beat with his own motor. I'm really surprised with him not having any wins yet, as good as that car is. And they've been working extremely hard on it. He wants that record, man. And, that's a surprise for me.
The biggest disappointment for me is Kenneth Phillips in the Silver Streak, too. He's been very consistent over his career in the Southeast Gassers. And to see him in the 7th position in points, halfway through the season is really something that surprises me. He's a top 3, top 5 car every time he's out there. So I know he's been battling some things. So I look for him to rebound and to get up into the middle of this in the top 5 of his points and maybe shake up some things.
Well, the comment from Barry Adler, I'm sure they've got dipping sauce and chicken nuggets there at Jackson Dragway. Maybe they'll have them just for you, Mr. Adler. And we'll see what the Chick Magnet is able to do there at Jackson Dragway. Next category we got up, B-Gas. And I think that, when I look at the category, I see Ken Rainwater on top. And for me, that is a good surprise. And I know, David, you're going to be like, surprised. But you got to remember, me closely following SEGA, Ken, though competitive, I hadn't seen him win a race until this year. So his performance, winning a race, then winning another one, and then going to the final round, 3 straight final rounds in a row and leading the points, it's a good surprise, and he's definitely going to be tough to beat in 2025.
I think if he goes to the finals here at Jackson, it could be very, very detrimental to the rest of the competition, depending on if Ted McKee is in the other side of the bracket. But Michael Oden, to me, could be the spoiler of all. I know they had some clutch problems at Brainerd. The car was down probably 15 miles per hour from what it normally runs. So Michael Oden could be the spoiler here. I look for him to maybe pick up his 2nd win of the year here at a new racetrack, because Michael Oden, he didn't have a lot to really be cautious about. He's a 21-year-old kid. He may push the light. He may turn it red, but he's going to push it. He's going to push it to the max every time. I think he's got nothing to lose and everything to gain here. And so I see Michael Oden really throwing some things in there. And I think he's going to be my pick to click, because unfortunately it looks like Briley Stott is going to not make this race either. And that may very well put him out of the points running.
Yeah, that's disappointing because, for him to have missed the race and still be in 4th is impressive. My pick 2 was Michael Oden as well. I think he's the one that could really challenge Ken Rainwater.
No doubt.
Earlier, you never know what might happen in qualifying with a hot track and a newer track. So no telling what matchups we might get early on in B-Gas. An early matchup between Rainwater and Oden, though unlikely, this might be the best case for it to happen. Definitely shake things up. And hey, feel free in the comments section. Give us your thoughts as well on your surprise, whether negative or positive, concerning the standings at the moment. David, what else were you going to add?
I was going to say, before we leave B, I want to give a huge credit out there to John McLaughlin in the disorderly conduct. He's a rookie driver, never really drag raced before. Finds himself sitting 6th in points, right behind Kelvin Cannon. Kelvin Cannon, another surprise, being in the 5th position. He's had a better year this year than in years past, but John McLaughlin in the disorderly conduct, that little 48 Anglia, to see him in the top 6 and being in his rookie year and in a tough category is something I got to give credit to.
Certainly a tough category, and routinely one that has so many cars show up. You have really got to fight your way through to be in such a position. So, we've got driver of the Chick Magnet chiming in. I think Barry will get more chicken than he can handle this weekend at Jackson Dragway. Well, we certainly know it's no plastic pigeon anymore. He went out there and got a win this last race, so it's certainly got some talons to it.
You knew there would be a quick rebuttal between those two.
Indeed.
Absolutely. We're going to see it play out at Jackson Dragway too, and we might just get them to meet once again, and we'll see how that goes. Cannot wait for that to come to pass. Matter of fact, Friday night, Jacob, drop down C-Gas for a moment. Drop it down. Friday night, like, who's doing what? Barry? Leslie? I mean, we don't need just singles. We need some side-by-side action. Give the fans what they want. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't put, like money on that, but maybe it is a chicken finger dinner or a box of ice cream, some drumsticks or something. I don't know. Let's make some fun out of it. Come on.
I think as tight as this points battle is, these guys don't want to tear anything up, in Friday night qualifying, but that may be the only thing that would deter these two, because they ready to go at each other's throat.
No. Give us what we want. As Batista would say, give me what I want.
Right.
Depends on if Leslie's got a second motor he's going to be carrying with him this weekend.
Yes. There you go.
He just borrowed Greg's. No big deal.
I like that. One of them has to provide a chicken finger dinner. The Chick Magnet has to provide a chicken finger dinner to the Iron Eagle, or the Iron Eagle has to provide an ice cream social for there. I like, there we go. There we go.
Good.
I like that.
That's
I think it's a good
like
trade-off. Let's try to work that out. Let's work that
out.
We
used to have such a small group. We had ice cream socials on Friday nights, and it wasn't all about qualifying. I'm looking for somebody to bring that back. We need a, quick time performance to put on an ice cream social at one of our events coming up, where we can just have a big smorgasbord of ice cream.
That. Yeah. I can't have it right now doing this low carb thing, but you all can enjoy, and we'll take photos of everybody eating.
Hey, we'll get you some low carb, no sugar. I have to have the no sugar, so.
Exactly.
All right, C-Gas. What we got? Let's look at that. The surprise of C-Gas, and for me,
got to make that
positive again. It's Ernie Smith.
Okay.
Ernie has worked his tail off, and that car is exactly where he needs it to be. And that man has to find winner's lane sometime in 2025, because he certainly isn't missing the final round, it seems like.
Yeah. He's not, and he's been getting a lot of love. We've well documented his work ethic, but I'm going to go look down the list a little bit further. Alfred Adams being this high up in the top 3 this, halfway through the year. And then Heath Adams, no relation, Heath he's still probably less than 10 races in his career with the Southeast Gassers. I think he ran a few races last year toward the end. I mean, they're leading over Todd Oden, who has missed a race, but those guys are up in the top 5, and Heath Adams with a quality piece, with a Fulton motor, just like Alfred Adams. So those guys can go rounds as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dana in the quick draw. They just need some breaks. They had some things not go their way to be in basically with 3 people and 80 points. You're really tied for 6th, to be honest. I think if they can get some breaks to go their way, it's not going to be hard to go from where she is in 7th or tied for 6th, all the way up to the top 4, top 5. in just by going rounds this weekend. That car's more than capable, and she's a hell of a driver. They just need a few breaks, and I think if they can get those breaks this weekend, this will be a nice little catapult of momentum to get them up in the top 5. And you know what happens when you get a little bit of momentum? You can start challenging for the top spot. So that's my pick right there, and I hope that is possible for her.
Yeah, you look at Seagas, and there are certainly competitors right now. They're not in the running for the championship, but you cannot discount them when they show up. Tim Hall sitting 9th in points, but he's not running for the championship this year. You cannot discount the former 2-time world champion in Seagas, and you cannot recognize when he shows up. Already a win on the year at Shadyside. And then, I think Ben Shaw at Shadyside put on a good performance. So you've got people who are not running for the championship in Seagas that they show up. It's tough for those who are running for the championship. And I fully expect when we're there towards the end of this season, such as Gulfport and such as Shadyside, that it is going to be absolutely critical who you meet early, and you're hoping you don't meet that spoiler, because they are out there and lurking for sure in Seagas. Some major names.
And really, you could say that for all 3 of our gas classes. They're lurking. There's a lot of people lurking. Talking about people showing up, J.C. Cutler, unfortunately, he asked about Jeff Jacobson in the scare lane. Jeff Jacobson has not raced with us in the last couple of years because of some, family obligations. His son Xander, who we've watched grow till probably 5 years old. I think he's 7 years old now and doing quite well with a little go-kart racing career there in Beloit, Wisconsin. And Jeff is doing as he should as a father and devoting his time to his son. I would love to see the scare lane out there, that 55 Cammer. But right now, Jeff has put that on the sidelines as far as racing in the Southeast Gassers because of, his obligation to his son and being a father. So hats off to Jeff Jacobson, a quality person, and love to see him back out here when time does allow.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful machine, and you cannot go wrong with a Ford Cammer. Grew up with hearing about that mythos of such a power plant. And yes, it would be great to see it back in competition. It's certainly been a few years. We'd love to see it back. I'd love to see it in person in the Southeast Gassers Association. I haven't had that pleasure at a SEGA race, so it would be good to see. Would love to see it go up against another 55 in some type of situation. Would love to see that. So whenever possible, scare lane, come on back and scare them on down the lane, wherever that may be in SEGA competition. All right, what next category we got?
Superstock? Oh, it's
H-Gas. We'll look at H-Gas.
Yeah.
Pops up. H-Gas. Oh, my goodness. Well, the last time I looked in the entry list in this category for Jackson, it was small. Yeah. And I'm sure many others have signed up since the last time I saw the list, and we're going to have more there. But you look back at the last race, and Todd Hines, and he's in here in the comments section saying he's already been to this track. He knows this track. He might have a little bit of a notebook, and Todd Hines might have something for all of them there in H-Gas. But Colby, he seems to have the dominant combination, just period, right now.
Yeah, 2 wins, 2 races, and he is pre-entered. So, it's hard to go against him. I mean, I'm be honest with you.
Do we have Beelzebub?
I don't think we have him in there right now.
He had a really good 2 races. car is running really well. That's unfortunate that he won't be able to make this one too. But yeah, you're right, man. If Todd's been on this racetrack, all I got to say is uh-oh.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Right. He performed well there at Brainerd Motorsports Park for the Southern Nationals presented by Harbin's Mechanical Services. So I would be looking for Corn Pop to pop along here even at Jackson Dragway. And David, by the way, you mentioned earlier that Mr. Baskins has been in this category. He was on the entry list. He seems like he's going to be throwing his hot rod into the mix. And as Baskins Truck Sales is the, headliner of this event, he's going to be doing some racing. So that's going to be cool to see.
Yeah, he's a racer at heart. I mean, you gotta give it to Don. I mean, he uses his resources for himself as well as sponsors many other cars. Kaylee Mills, he was a longtime sponsor of her. I don't know if he's still on her car or not, but the man has a extensive car collection. He is just a hot rodder from the word go. He is the epitome of that. And but unfortunately, it looks like Todd Hines says that circumstances are going to prevent him from being there. I thought you'd just fly in, Todd, and have somebody pull your car, but we can let you land on the drag strip. I'm sure you could pull that off with your pilot's license. But that's unfortunate that the Studebaker, the Corn Pop of Todd Hines, won't be there in H-Gas. I know he's lamenting that, but yeah, Don Baskins, a quick little car too, so it'd be interesting to see he and Colby match up because that car hasn't ran in Southeast Gassers racing in a few years.
Okay, cool. Be good to see him and whoever else is in the H-Gas category.
JC, yeah.
New surface is awesome, smooth as glass, sticky from one end to the other. And he's saying that he bracket race out there, familiar with the track. You look from the updates. I think we've got a very nice facility we're going into, especially concerning the racing. So, I don't know what I'm going to get into when I go into the tower and try to set up live streaming and what I've got and what I don't got. But nonetheless, racing action, it is going to have a great surface to race upon. So Sega's going to put on a good show. Certainly, you do not want to miss this race. If you are a fan in the Southeast, on the west side of the Southeast, this is your race. Don't miss it. You Arkansas. What are they? Arkansanians? I don't even know what people from Arkansas are called.
I have no idea.
I don't know. You from Arkansas, come on to West Tennessee to Jackson and enjoy. If you're from Kentuckians, come on down, okay, and enjoy drag racing in Jackson, Tennessee. Northern Mississippi, right on up to enjoy the drag racing there at Jackson Dragway. Stop making excuses. If you're like, man, I'd really like to see a SEGA race. We see all you commenting all the time. Make it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can't have 30 races and go to everybody's hometown track so they can drive 3 miles to watch us. I mean, they're going to have to make the commitment to come to us a little bit too, because we're making this commitment to come to them in their area.
Absolutely. Sure. And look, make a trip of it. Look, go by Graceland. Look good. Check out Bill Street. Do whatever you want to do. Get it all in. Look, I know Jackson itself has got some great places to eat. If you're a foodie, it's a pretty good town to go as a foodie. So get to Jackson. Enjoy it all. Make a trip of it. Make it. Okay. Stop making excuses and go live at the drags, and in particular, SEGA.
Yeah, let's do that. Make it happen.
Next category. Go, David.
As I'll say, I guarantee your friends list will get bigger if you go to a Southeast Gasser event because
you got that right.
You're gonna leave with full inbox of friends.
That's right. Indeed. That's right. Absolutely. One of the best atmospheres in drag racing that you can ask for. Well, look, no surprise, Jerry Dean is on top.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
No surprise.
No. But a guy that I see digging real hard is Rob Walden. We had him on last week.
Yes. Uh-huh.
He is hungry. He would like to continue to break this streak that Jerry Dean has had in the last Rebel 2. I mean, that is a tall mountain to climb unless Jerry Dean has some mechanical problems. But, it's Rob Walden to me is the new click there that can take out Jerry Dean at the moment's notice.
I agree with you on that one. Definitely has all the tools, probably most poised to get it done.
And two other guys that I see, if I may jump in here, don't know if they're on the entry list or not, but Ronnie Jones in the Crimson and Clover and Eddie Willis in the Gift, a couple of 67 Camaros. They are some really, really strong competitors. Don't know if they are pre-registered for this race or not, but hopefully they'll be there.
Yeah.
Also, you got to commend Tony, and I'm not sure. How do you enunciate his last name?
Okay,
David?
I got this. Noah Sodsky.
Noah Sodsky. Well, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Tony,
I've been working on that hard. It's Noah Sodsky.
Noah Sodsky. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, Public Enemy, beautiful car, by the way. It is a looker.
That's a 56, isn't it?
I believe it is. And it is a beautiful car. Love seeing it out there in action. And, there he is right now. He's sitting, tied 5th. And he's been making the races. And he's been qualifying. He's been putting it in the beams. So, look, I don't know where he's going to finish when the year, closes out. But someone coming in and fielding a new hot rod from what I can recall in Southeast Gases Association drag racing in super stock. First race out didn't even have it all lettered up. And then we see it and it's lettered up at Shadyside. Beautiful machine. He's doing what is necessary to, in this very moment, to stand out. Here he is. He's tied for 5th and is working on his way to possibly have a good points finish in Superstock. And we'll see how he moves up.
And another rookie, talking about John McLaughlin. He's from Alabama. Tony N., he's from Alabama. They're bringing some rookies out of Alabama with some quality race machines.
That they are. Superstock. Jerry is way out there. But Rob Walden wants to strychnine on Mr. Dean and see what he can do. It's going to be an interesting show. And, by the way, let's not forget the Dalton gang. Bryant Dalton Sr. has been a tough competitor as well. We'll see what happens with the remaining races. Oh, by the way, I do want to take the time. Someone did ask, is Gulfport double points? Gulfport is not double points in the sense that it's one race with double points. It is double points in the sense that there are 2 points races that weekend. So, depending on how you want to split it, you've got 2 races with normal points payout. But you've got an opportunity to earn points 2 times that weekend. So I would say traditionally, no, it is not a double points event. It's 2 events that weekend. 2 races, Friday, full elimination race, Saturday, full elimination race.
And that's what's so cool to me. I mean, the first time we've ever done this, I mean, it can't have huge, we've talked about it before, it can't have huge points implications, but we're doing it for the fans. You make the commitment to come to Gulfport, Mississippi. You're not just going to come for one day. You're going to come for Friday. And instead of watching qualifying, you're going to see a whole event. It starts at 1:00, and you're going to see a whole event on Saturday. So for your money in travel expenses, you're getting double. You're getting big bang for the buck. I know we got people flying in from England that's going to be there because it's a double event.
Massive show. It was massive last year, and the team there at Gulfport did a phenomenal job, and they doubled down. Michael Odom, but in this case, the track doubled down, and we're literally doing a double. and it is going to be a great show. And not to mention, later on, do a full press release on it. It'll be out there for Drag Illustrated and Competition Plus and everywhere else in the drag racing world. But thank you to the Gulfport Dragway management. They're going to be helping SEGA racers get there. We're going to have a good show before us. They've been making improvements there a little bit along. That place is really your racecation destination. Then Cruising the Coast going on at that time. It's a show. It is a show. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was telling someone earlier, we had a day before the racing began on Thursday. On Thursday we went out to Cruising the Coast, saw the car shows and everything. And there was one restaurant that we stopped at. It was on the 4-lane divided road. You're looking out over the ocean. You got that Gulf breeze blowing in, and you're sitting there. You're enjoying a burger. They had shrimp. They had a full menu, and everybody's driving up and down in their hot rods, and they're waving to you and blowing the horn. You're getting to see some just absolutely gorgeous customs and classic street cars. And then the next thing you know, as I'm sitting in the tower, I'm watching those same cars come into our venue there at Gulfport Dragway, because they're there for the duration as well, and they're hot rodders, and they loved it.
It is a spectacular pairing. Whoever worked this one out, they knew what they were doing. Glad Sega's there, and we're there during Cruising the Coast, and I'm sure Cruising the Coast is glad to have us there as well. At least those that want to bring their hot rod and enjoy some Sega drag racing action and really help make it roll back to like it was 1967 or 66 or 65. I mean, can you imagine rolling in, like your 66 station wagon, whatever it is, to the drag strip with your old school cooler and picnic basket, and maybe throwing on some retro garb? I mean, man, you'd feel right back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe that needs to be part of it. Maybe
That's
there needs
what
to be
makes
a dress-up contest or something.
Yeah, that's what makes our backup girls also so valuable. Nonetheless, the technical side of what they're doing, but they're also there in their period correct attire, looking as good as they can. I mean, it's just going to be outstanding. And this weekend in Jackson is going to be the same way. I mean, our backup girls are going to be there. JC, thanks for all the insight that you've been giving us here, with the new track surface. That is really exciting. And if someone had some local knowledge, of the old Jackson Dragway repave, that's out the window. So we're all on an even playing field here, even more so than we thought, now that they have a repave that has went on.
Yes. David, I just want to know when we're going to get a guy out there dressed up in Indian garb like it was, at the national events back in the 60s during the, the NHRA national events with the car club that was out there. We need someone in full, Indian headdress and everything.
I've tried to talk Trent Howard into it. He would be the dude.
He's
US the bug, the backup
He's out
guy
there in Indian garb. That would be it. That would be perfect. Look, I know, probably not politically correct, but it is retro. I mean, there is video footage of these guys staging dragsters and gassers at national events all the way back like the 1960, U.S. Nationals in Detroit, and they're dressed up as Indians. It was a car club out of Canada or something like that. It's strange, but nonetheless, here they are.
Yeah, the chick magnet's trying to, I don't know. We got to dig a little deeper in the checkbook for that one there, Chief. Closest I'm going to get is the Atlanta Brave mascot, Chief Nakahoma.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that.
But yeah, Trent, it's been well documented. I'm very proud of my cousin Chase Howard and Trent, his brother, but Trent is an extremely shy guy. You're not going to get him to dress up, and if it did, it would be so out of character. But he is our one backup guy, so we still call him a backup guy instead of girl. But yeah, he would be the guy to do it, wouldn't he? If we could get Jeff Madden there, Hollywood Jeff Madden, if we could get him back, away from his work schedule that is so difficult for him, he would be the guy that would dress up and embrace that role.
Look, I want to see it. Like that would be so cool to see, because again, like you look 1960, 61, 62, all the way up to like 67, I think. You've got these guys in Indian garb, and then later it becomes like one guy, if I remember correctly, like Beezer or Bazer. I don't know all of the lore, but nonetheless, he's dressed up like an Indian, and it's, you look at it and you're watching old drag racing footage, you're like, what the heck is going on? That this guy is dressed up like an Indian, somebody, I will pay you. Somebody do it, okay? I want to see this. Eventually.
Hey, I know by your skin tone that you're not, but my skin tone, and I am actually 1/32 Cherokee Indian, but I'm not getting in a skirt, and I'm not going out there.
Well, see, that's the funny thing. You look back at these, guys that were in Indian garb, they're white Canadians. I don't think there is any Indian happening whatsoever.
Right.
But the I think it was like the Ottawa Indians Car Club or something like that, if I remember hearing it correctly. You can see it on Competition Plus and the YouTube channel, the 1960 U.S. Nationals at Detroit, and the narrator says it very distinctly, and I'm not remembering it quite correctly at the moment, but like bunch of look, I get it. It is not PC today, okay? But I don't think Sega's PC to begin with. We love the United States of America. We love God, and we're red-blooded Americans, and we're going to do it the way we want to do it, and that's yes, ma'am, no, sir. We're going to pray before we eat. Thank God for it. If you don't like it, don't show up.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, cool with that.
Okay, great. Last category. We got one more. I think it's AFX.
Yes.
We got a great pre-entry list for this.
We do. Yes, this category keeps looking better and better and better. I think if everyone shows up, we're looking at the biggest car count for AFX of its championship era, and looking forward to finally seeing in action that Gordon Rundle car coming out of Speedway, Indiana. I saw it in person, got photos of it, did a little write-up. Cannot wait to see it in action, though. That should happen this weekend.
Yeah, and you got Wimberly on top in the points, and Rob Walden eating him up just as quick as he can, and then Jeffrey Ferguson, setting everybody on his ear with the Wild and Woolly too. So, and then, if Gordon comes in there and, just judging, of course, his first race, he's going to be shaking out some cobwebs, some bugs in the car. But, traditionally, Gordon Rundle is a good drag racer, and his fabrication and fit and finish that he puts on his stuff is really, really good. I don't see him leaving too many nuts or bolts unturned or tightened. And there's a great shot of the Colossus right there as it gets ready to go into the box. And we'll see him in Jackson, Tennessee this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Georgia Shaker, man. Alan Platt, he's right there with the top two. Got 4 races left, man. If they can get it to turn the corner this weekend and kind of tighten things up on the top, I think it's going to get real interesting in the last 3. So looking forward to seeing what they're able to do because they have been pretty tough this year. Just haven't had the breaks needed. They do have a race win, and that helps. But Todd Wimberly in that Southern Comfort has been one tough cookie.
Duchesne, that's a great point. Alan Platt, if there's anybody out there that's hungry, that guy stays hungry.
Yeah.
He is out there, and so is Rocky Platt with the Dixie Twister car, he being the owner of that car. Those guys are out there in honor of their fathers who are drag racing, just pioneers and legends.
Yeah.
And so for our fans in Jackson that's going to be coming out, those are some pits that you want to visit. Alan Platt has a plethora of T-shirts, retro stuff, die cast, videos of all the history of the Platt family, and specifically his dad, Hubert Platt, driving the Fords, and his uncle, Houston Platt, driving the Dixie Twister for Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how things shake out here.
It's going to be good, and you're going to be able to watch it because I know you're not going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be able to watch it.
But you will be able to watch it. We will be live Friday, and we will be live Saturday with all of the Southeast Gassers Association action from Jackson Dragway, the Hub City Hullabaloo, presented by Don Baskin's Truck Sales. So we've got a great event ahead of us. We're going to take a quick break, a word from the other lane sponsor, QuickTime Performance, and then we're going to wrap up the show with the events beyond this weekend at Jackson Dragway. QuickTime Performance, and then we're going to be quick about it.
Here at QuickTime Performance, we give you what you need to put some attitude in your truck. Why settle for the same dull, boring commute that everyone else subscribes to? Life is too short to be stuck in a bland appliance every day. Grab a set of QuickTime electric cutouts and say goodbye to ordinary.
Jackson Dragway this weekend, August 22nd, 23rd. Forecast is going to be hot, but it's also going to be hot action on the track. You come out, stay cool, and just have fun. But the rain is staying away. Praise the Lord for that. Beyond Jackson Dragway, we will stay in the state of Tennessee, but we will head back east, or kind of east central if you want to look at it that way. However, Tennessee is kind of long, and I live in like Middle Tennessee now, and I'm not sure they all know what they call what region. Nonetheless, we're heading back towards Old Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where we're going to be for, I like this, the Molly Nationals Mountain Madness.
Should be fun. Great track.
Yeah,
like
first off, I got to say thanks to Molly Motorsports. They have had a commitment to the Southeast Gassers for many years. Tim Hall helped bring them into existence, I guess, or bringing them into the forefront here in the Southeast Gassers. He's been a long-time sponsor of him, and they've come on for the last 3 years and been very, very much a sponsor at the Knoxville Dragway. And what a great place to watch a drag race as well. Wes Clapp and his crew down there are just continually trying to cater to the fans, and they got some great seating available down there. They got great seating on the right side of the track as well, and a lot of history there, as that place used to be a circle track.
And you can definitely tell that when you're up in the stands. Great vantage point to view from the old circle track stands, and it has that feel. And then you still also have a sense of the banking. The turnoff is, from what I understand, old turn one, so it's still there. You get a feeling of it. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's interesting that Knoxville, I like to say mini Bristol, has a circle track history, and Big Bristol has the circle track and the drag strip. Like, you look at Bristol Dragway and then you look at Knoxville Dragway, it's like, man, I kind of get the feeling of what it might have been like to be at Bristol back in 1960 something. Because they're almost a spitting image, if you will, sitting in the little valleys that they sit in the mountains of Tennessee. So after our time there, second time at Knoxville Dragway, we will roll on to the big one in 2025, the double Gulfport, Mississippi, for the Gulf Coast Nationals. Now, I want you to notice something. As of right now, we have not announced, so we're still looking, from what I understand. The Gulf Coast Nationals does not have a title sponsor. If you're looking for a great marketing opportunity, this is it in the world of motorsports in that region, in that area, with premier nostalgia gasser drag racing. So if you're out there and you would like to be a marketing partner with the Southeast Gassers Association, here is your opportunity. But for the racer and for the fan, this is going to be a big one. Friday, it is a race. Saturday, it is a race at the Gulf Coast Nationals.
It's going to be fun.
You know, Lee, to coin a phrase, this is our big go. You know, this to me feels like our U.S. Nationals, and as many cars as we're going to have there, and as many fans. This is the best attended race that we have all year. For a marketing partner not to want to get involved here, whether you're specifically a race, manufacturer, or if you're a street strip guy where you got both, this would be a great place because you got all the hot rodders that are there as well going to come out to the event. And, you may have products for their hot rod that they're fixing up or their current classic car, or you may have something that goes on our racing vehicles. So marketing partners really need to take note here because you're going to be in front of more people than you've ever been at any of our events.
Yeah, would be smart. This is the one. You're going to be able to not only hit the fans that come to the racetrack, but those who are there for the car show. It's a double whammy. So yeah, it would be smart to do so.
Yes, someone out there needs to jump on this. I've got a couple of people in mind that I'm going to be contacting and see if they're willing to jump in on this. It is going to be a great platform. No matter who you are, you're going to have a lot of potential customers that you're going to be able to reach there for the Gulf Coast Nationals. And after Gulfport, well, we close out the season at home, if you will. They're in Shadyside Dragway outside of Shelby, North Carolina. Looking forward to that. We don't have the poster whipped up, the great work that Stephen Smith does. He'll have that out soon enough, but we'll be looking forward to it when he does roll it out. Puts out spectacular work each and every time. You can tell I've got a few up above me right now there from Shadyside, South Georgia Motorsports Park, and Shadyside. Stephen does great work. And, oh, by the way, if you do want Southeast Gassers Association swag, well, you can get it at southeastgassersgear.com.
Good deal.
Yeah, you can pick up everything right there that you would find at the racetrack, and even probably a couple of things might be thrown in your box as a gift and a thank you, as Stephen and Holly like to do. They do a great job in helping us with all our marketing and getting our officially licensed merchandise out there.
Yeah, they do an excellent job. And you won't be disappointed. It's a lot of cool stuff. And it's a lot of cool stuff that really looks retro and really fits in with what's going on here at Southeast Gassers Association. So, yeah, go check that out and support what they're doing by promoting Southeast Gassers Association.
That for sure. Gentlemen, anything else here on this installment of SEGA Live?
I think we covered it. Just get there. Just do what you got to do.
That's all you got to do now. Just get
there. All right.
Just get there.
It's going to be a blast. You're going to have a good time. Great racing surface, a new place. Come and enjoy it with the rest of the racers who are also getting a chance to enjoy this great track for the first time as well. So that's all I got to say.
Well, for JC and Teresa, thank you for your comments today and helping us learn a little bit more about Jackson Dragway. And it makes me even more looking more forward to getting there. I'm anticipating getting there and, like I said, getting boots on the ground and, seeing the layout for myself. But can't wait to see this new surface and see how our cars perform on that surface in the weather up there in Western Tennessee.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the voice of the Southeast Gassers Association, David Lancaster, is on the bottom of the screen. And then up next to me, Mr. Dujanay Bland, I'm Lee Craft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer. This has been SEGA Live. You see on your screen now where you need to be this weekend in Tennessee. That's Jackson Dragway for the Hub City Hullabaloo, presented by Don Baskin Truck Sales. Friday, August 22nd, Saturday, August 23rd. For more details, reach out to us at the Southeast Gassers Association or Jackson Dragway LLC on Facebook. Thank you all for watching. We will be back with SEGA Live after Jackson Dragway and the action that takes place there. But be sure to be on the lookout for the live stream this weekend from Jackson Dragway. Till next time, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.